All right, thanks for joining us for our essential oils for dogs. And I'm going to apologize right now, and I'm only going to apologize once for the bad link that was sent out in your email. I'm so sorry about that. But here we are, and you'll get the recording, so you'll be able to catch up. So we're going to be talking about how to use essential oils for dogs, how to pick the essential oils that are appropriate for your dog, and maybe some of the safety concerns that you might have. So Rebecca's here, and she was talking to me about her senior dog, and she's a little concerned about using some of the citrus-based oils. So hopefully we'll be able to guide each other through using essential oils for our pets. So why would you want to do this? Oh, I just think it's such a great source of empowerment to be able to have some simple tools at your fingertips that you can use anytime you need them. And I've used them quite a bit with my dog Tinkerbell. Matter of fact, my very first essential oil was Terra Shield. And it was a tiny little sample from Kimberly. We were going to Northern California. The previous year, she had been infested with ticks. And Kimberly gave me a sample of the Terra Shield to try, and it worked like a dream. So I still use that on her, but we've expanded our essential oil repertoire, and it's worked out really very, very well. So one of the things I'm going to talk to you about is auditioning essential oils for your pet. So just like people, you know, with our muscle testing, are you all familiar with that? If you hold an essential oil in your hand and you open it up, or you can even just hold the bottle, there's something that happens energetically that your body either moves towards the essential oil or actually pulls away from the oil. And it's quite on a subconscious level. And the same thing can be applied to the dog. And it's actually pretty easy to read. And I'm sorry that I didn't get a chance to record her this week, but I know that just as Rebecca was saying, I know my dog does not like lemon. So I said, all right, I'm going to try it with the lemon because I know she doesn't like that. She likes the woodsy oils. She likes frankincense. And one of her favorites is Calmer, the children's blend in the rollerball. So I had pulled those 3 oils out, but she was very distracted when I was doing it. So it just didn't really work out very well for me when I tried to record her doing it. But typically what happens is she'll either lick the closed bottle of essential oil, and then I know that it's something that she's attracted to. It's appealing to her, or she'll basically ignore it. You know, it's kind of a non-event for her. She's not repelled by it. She's not attracted to it. It's fine. And then there have been other times where she's turned her head away, or she's gotten up off the couch and she's just left the room. So you can use that as a guide to see what essential oils might be appealing to your dog. Let's see, I'm also going to show you how I use essential oils with Tinkerbell every single day. So Rebecca knows she's got an older dog, and they require medications to keep them moving well, their joints moving well. I had a dog that had hormone therapy, so she had to take the pill for that. So all kinds of things can happen, right? Well, you can purchase these pill treats, and you can stick your capsules inside these little pill treats, but they're not always the right size. They're kind of dry, so the treats kind of fall apart. And I find that a much better way to do it is to actually just make my own. So I'm going to show you how I do that. So I'm going to show you here. I'm just going to tip my screen and sorry. Okay. Okay, so here's my sweet potato, and I usually make 3 or 4 of them at a time, and I make a whole bunch of these sweet potato bites, and I freeze them so that I have them for a month or so. And I can usually make about maybe 10 bites out of a medium, small sized potato. This one's a little bit larger, so I'm gonna think I make about 15 or so of these sweet potato bites. And I have about a tablespoon of olive oil, and I've added about 10 to 15 drops of the combined frankincense and copaiba. So I might just add 7 drops of frankincense and 7 drops of copaiba. So I'm going to figure that she's getting about 1 drop per bite. And I just pour that into my bowl with the sweet potato. So the olive oil is going to carry the essential oils, and it literally is a carrier. It's going to go ahead and disperse the oil through the potato, but it also helps to carry the essential oil into Tinkerbell's body. That's a nice omega-3 to carry the oil into the cells. And I just break that up a little bit. And then I like to use almond flour. Almond flour is a great flour to use as a binder. What I like about it is, first of all, it smells great, but it seems like it absorbs the moisture of your sweet potato, whereas the regular flour and even almond flour doesn't really do that. They stay a little slimy, where this actually creates a little bit of a dough. Okay, so here's Tinkerbell. She knows that I'm making her sweet potato bites just on cue. Hi, babe. Here, can you see her?
Yeah.
And she loves these things. All right, so I'm not going to mush it all the way, but you get the idea. I just make this into a dough, and I'm going to add however much coconut flour I need to be able to do that. So I just kind of pull out a little bit, make it into a little ball, and then I give her every day, I give her the XE Omega. There you go, babe. And I give her the Deep Blue Polyphenol Complex. And I love these two products for my own mobility and joint health, but I also really appreciate them for the dog. And she loves them, as you can see. These are just a really favorite treat for her. So I give those to her every day, and I put all of her pills inside those little bites and give them to her. So cute, right?
Nice.
Great. Good job.
That's wonderful. That's a
Yeah.
great idea.
Yeah. She really likes
I'd like to try that for myself. That looks good.
It smells really good. Here you go.
Yeah, it looks good.
It's also so cool that you can use the supplements that we take as people for our animals. So it just really broadens the opportunity for your dog's wellness when you consider that.
Yeah.
I never even considered doing that. And so this makes these sweet potato treats such a great concept.
Yeah, they really are great. And I've talked to my veterinarian about using them just to make sure that they were okay. I've also used the, what's the child's version of the Omega, IQ Omega, something like
Yeah,
that.
with it's orange flavored.
Yeah. And I've used that too, and she likes that very much. I just pour that on her dry dog food, and she loves that. But I appreciate using the XE Omega and the Deep Blue Polyphenol Complex. I have had great success with those products for my own joint health. And Tinkerbell is 10. She's got a lot of stuff going on, arthritis in her wrists and in her neck. But she moves great. She looks beautiful. Her fur is gorgeous. So she's doing really well with it.
Well, and Wendy, we made the turkey bites. I've never just made the sweet potato bites. I've made the turkey bites and made a bunch of them, and then I freeze them. And that's a great way to do it too, and put them in little baggies, and then you pull them out. Those little snack bags is what I put them in. Put 2 or 3 in there of those and pull them out, and then give them to Maggie, then. And I used frankincense and copaiba in them, and she loved them.
Would you like me to share that recipe?
Yeah, I would guess the gals would love it. It's a nice option. I mean, the sweet potato one is definitely easier to make, that's for sure.
It is, but it's also nice to know that you can kind of wing it with whatever kind of meatball or vegetable ball the dog might appreciate to add. Just consider it's like a carrier oil. It's a carrier pill.
Right.
So
and you could actually, instead of the pumpkin puree in the turkey muffins, you could actually use the sweet potato as well, just a softened sweet potato. So you can mix and match for sure.
Yep, and that's how I actually decided to use the sweet potato, because Tinkerbell doesn't like pumpkin.
Oh, got it. Right.
So I use that instead.
And they put a lot of sweet potato in dog food these days.
They do.
It's a very popular thing for the dogs. They love it.
Yeah. So you are welcome to take a screenshot of this. I'll include it in our email that'll go out in a couple of days. Okay. These are really good. She loves these too. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stop share. Would you like me to pull up the other recipes that I have, Kimberly?
Talk about which other ones?
They're the, let's see, I'll pull
Or
this one up so you can
I think
see.
we were adding them. I just don't win and
And the other thing you can do too, which I did with our dog when her rear end and her arthritis hit, I just put a drop of frankincense and a drop of copaiba in her wet food. And we would mix it up and then put the dry food in, and she ate that every night. So that's another way. The treats are really fun though, because what dog doesn't love a treat, right?
Right.
So you can do it either way, but mixing it up in their food is another great option, as long as there's wet food to mix it up with, because if you try to put it on the dry food, it just doesn't work. It'll just all absorb into one chunk of the dry food. So you kind of
Right.
have to have that wet food.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So here's a few others. I've taught quite a few essential oils for dogs classes, and we always use them as a make and take. They're really fun for people to make these products and they bring their dogs to class. It's just a blast. So you're welcome to take a screenshot here as well if any of these appeal to you. And I also feel like I don't make things up. I'm not that creative, but I'm also not that confident. I just feel like I have to defer to a resource. And so I think, Kimberly, you were going to talk about some of the resources that are available for people to get ideas for how to use oils
Yes.
on their dog.
Absolutely. So there's a lot of great books, and most of us that use essential oils have a book, at least one book. And so there are two specific books that are written. The first one, it's called Holistic Aromatherapy for Animals. It's an excellent book. The other one I can't show you because I couldn't find it. I lend my books out a lot, and I think I lent that one out and I never got it back. And it's called Spoil Your Pet. So it's kind of a play on words. It's big SP, or it's a small SP, and then OIL, spoil. There you go. Thanks, Wendy. Spoil Your Pet. And that's another great, these are two specifically for your animals, and they're wonderful. And it talks about, how to dilute, which we're going to get into all of that as well. But if you don't have a book for just your animals, Modern Essentials, which is a classic book that most oil users have. It's the Essential Oil Bible, and you can look up all sorts of issues. It also has a section for all of your animals, including pigs and cows and horses, cats and dogs. So that's really cool. And then the Essential Life has a little blurb about animals in there as well. And then even this fabulous little book, which I carry now because I travel so much, so I can't carry these big books. So I have the EOE. These guys also make a wonderful app, and I love their app, but they even have things in here about dogs, and you would look under dog care or horse care or cat care, and it will have a few different oils that you can use with them. So there's so many great resources. And then one of our greatest resource is the Essential Oil Vet. And actually, let me just, if you want to share the screen, I brought up her.
I think you should be able to do that, right?
Yeah, okay, hold on. I've
Yeah, you
got
should be able to do
stuff
that.
open here. Yeah, I have to open it up full screen. Okay. Okay, there we go.
Has somebody got their TV on in the background?
It sounds like it. It's not here.
Yeah, I do. Let me turn it down.
Okay.
Okay. So let's see here. Where is my pet care? Safari, Google Chrome. There it is. Okay. Oh no, wrong one. Hold on. Sorry about that, guys. I have way too many things open,
Yeah.
apparently.
Yep. It happens.
And then it's hard to find it. Okay, maybe it was on Safari. There it is. Okay. So on Safari, here we go. So she's called the Essential Oil Vet. Her name is Dr. Janet Rourke, and she is a veterinarian who started using oils in her practice many years ago. She's actually spoken at the doTERRA convention, and she is very, very wise. So this is her Facebook group. And so she's Essential Oil Vet, Janet Rourke. She has live videos on here that she'll do question and answers. Then she also has a private group that you pay for. So she's got a lot of different options. So, like for chronic things with dogs or horses, or, just chronic stuff where you have to have your animals on drugs all the time, I really would prefer to consult with her, and she does consulting online. I'll show you. Here's her website.
We can't see any of that. I don't know if you can see it, but all I see are the tabs.
Same here.
What? You can't see?
No.
Tabs are big and there's nothing else.
Oh,
I've got, well, let me stop that again. Share screen. Okay, let's try it again. I don't know what's going on. Is it there?
There
now?
you go.
Yeah.
There it is.
That's it.
Oh, weird.
Your doggy.
Hi, baby.
So this
What
is
a little
her
cutie.
website.
Nice.
And so she has a bunch of different, she's got ebooks that you can download. She's got different courses and classes. And as a matter of fact, Carrie signed up for one of the horse classes. You can get a certification if you work with animals, but she's got webinars, and, so she's got so much great information. And then she does consultations. And then let me show you her, since you didn't see her Facebook page. Here's her Facebook page. Do you see that?
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay, Essential Oil Vet, Janet Rourke. So you can just search for her, the Essential Oil Vet, and that's a great way to reach her. And she's got videos. Here she is doing a live video, answering questions. And so, it's a great resource. This is an expert who has treated animals successfully using oils. So I really recommend it if you've got animals that are chronic, because some of these drugs that they put them on are really hard on their livers and kidneys, and it's just not worth it if there's an essential oil. Sometimes there's not, but it's certainly worth checking into. So those are the resources that I recommend, and there's a plethora. And I know there's been some bad press with essential oils. I've had people text me going, "Oh my God, I just read an article that essential oils are killing animals." Well, let me explain that really quickly. Yes, essential oils can kill anybody if you buy them at Walmart or, off the shelf. At these stores, they're not real essential oils. They're synthetic versions of God knows what they are, and they smell nice. So it would be like drinking perfume. Perfume is synthetic, and if you drink it, you might get sick. It probably won't kill you, but you get sick from it. So when people are saying, "Oh, they're diffusing their essential oils and they're making animals sick," you've got to consider the source. What kind of oil? That's why we really wanted to have this. We feel it's really important to know that doTERRA's oils are safe. Now, again, not all oils are safe for dogs. There is a list of oils that you don't want to use with them, and we can post those as well. But overall, they are safe, and we're going to get into, we've got a worksheet that we're going to share with you on how to use oils. And
You want me to pull that up now, Kimberly?
Did you want me to go over it all, how to apply them?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, that'll be next. And that's part of it is how, there's a safe way to use them. And so Kathy's going to go over that, how to apply them, dilute them, all that kind of stuff. So thanks, Kathy.
Okay. Want me to do it now? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I think she's bringing up the sheet.
Well, I just had my own notes. So while I'm waiting, I'll just talk about what I was going to
Perfect.
say. First of all, I think it's really important that because we have this incredible relationship with our fur babies, it's when you want to use essential oils, you want it to be a bonding experience between you and your dog. So in my opinion, putting an essential oil onto a dog needs to be a comfortable experience for the dog, most certainly. So trying to put on an oil when he is in a frantic state or it's just going to make him reference and think about oils and stress. So you want to make sure it's kind of like that Pavlov's dog syndrome where, they got food, they were rewarded when they did something. Well, they're going to be rewarded when they have the essential oils applied to them. It has to be very know that it's worth doing. So make sure they're calm if you can. That's just how I prefer to do it, is making Bergie feel like it's a fun bonding experience to use the oils. So with oils and animals, I think that you need to dilute them like you would a baby. So maybe a 1-to-4 ratio, maybe 1 drop of essential oil and 4 drops of a carrier oil. If you have a larger dog like my Moose, who's 160 pounds, he can get more like 1 drop of oil to 2 drops of carrier oil. But just use your common sense when you're applying. And then you want to use, I think it's preferred, at least in my household, to use an unscented carrier oil, because you don't want to be throwing off the dog's scent of the essential oil. I prefer to use an unscented, like a grapeseed oil or a fractionated coconut oil, so that every time you do it, it's the same scent, it's the same aroma that the dog is getting. So when I use essential oils on my dog, I'm either applying it topically to a point of pain or a wound, or I am using it for more of an aromatherapy concept, like if you're taking your dog in the car and you're dealing with an anxiety issue. So I'm going to just take the oil, drop it in my hand. I'm going to rub it on my dog. Add the carrier oil, rub my hands together, rub the dog's head. You can rub their ears, you can rub the back of their neck. And if they really like the oil and they're drawn to it, then you can go to the paws and the forearms, because you have to remember that their sense of smell is so superior to anything that we could even imagine. So you need to make sure that they're comfortable with the oil, number one, before you put it on them. But certainly when they are comfortable, keep it kind of away from their immediate nose. I do make an exception with that because my dog loves Correctex. The lavender in it calms him down. He understands it always helps him. So we use Correctex actually on our dog for a multitude of things. If he gets a tick and we pull it out, we always put the Correctex over the spot where the tick was, because invariably that will get infected otherwise. If he gets a red, like he gets a hot spot on his paws, or he steps on something and sticks, we always use Correctex. And he can lick it. It's okay if he licks it. It's all ingestible oils. So topically use them where you would need to, like on their forearms, their tummy. If they have an upset tummy, you can actually use them just the same as you would on a baby. So dilute it, rub in your hand, rub it on their belly. If you're dealing with an ear infection, you can't drop, or you shouldn't drop the oils in like with a dropper, but you can lift their ear up and rub the bones around the ear. I did read recently that bergamot is really good for dog ear infections. So you may want to do a blend of a bergamot and a basil, or a bergamot and a melaleuca, but make sure the dog is okay. Melaleuca is not typical, or tea tree is not typically preferred with dogs, but in a very small, minute usage and very pure, it's not going to hurt to rub a little bit on the outside.
And Kathy, I'm just going to interrupt you just for a second, but if you've ever gone into a pet care store, it's very common to see melaleuca or tea tree in a shampoo or infused on a dog collar. And you just want to make sure that it's a really good quality product. And evidently they just don't metabolize some of these oils very well. So the oils can linger inside the dog's liver for an extended period of time.
If it's ingested.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Just use your common sense. I think you know your animal better than any of us could assume. But diluting and using, I think I would get one of the books that Kimberly's referenced to help you, to guide you if you have any questions, and use the resource of the essential oil vet. She's amazing.
Yeah, and actually I'll go ahead and add that this worksheet I always put on the back of my handouts. And this is from Dr. Rourke's presentation online. So she was listing the top 10 essential oils for dogs. And these were her safety factors to consider when you're using the oils. So again, this is one that you might want to take a screenshot of, but I'll go ahead and send this in your email.
Well,
That's a great reference.
it really is. And then also for those of you who have any of the apps, so I not only have the books, but I have the app too. And that this Essential Oils of the Earth has a wonderful app. It's called EOE Books. And they also, if you go in and type in dog care, it'll bring up, some basic stuff, anxiety, cuts, wounds, digestive issues, fungal infections. But it also has a little list right on here. And then it also has the list of oils not to use with dogs. So, so the resources are there, they really are. We have them everywhere. So
yeah. And Rebecca was saying she has a senior dog. So what are some of the concerns that you have with your dog?
Mostly she's very anxious, and she gets these little like I said, those little like warts and type things on her body, like up under her hair and stuff like that. So that's what I was wondering what I could use on the I guess it's like a little old time wart. You know how people start getting those little growths and things like that.
Skin tag,
So
maybe? Is it like
pardon?
a skin tag? Is it like a skin tag?
Probably, but it's pretty solid. It's not loose.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds like a wart, just what you were saying.
Yeah.
Which could be,
It looks
that could
just like
be
a wart.
coming from a virus.
Huh.
And so, what we would recommend for a person would be oregano and tea tree. And so you could try that and just dilute.
I wouldn't use the oregano.
Oils.
You wouldn't use oregano?
I wouldn't. There's a couple of other, frankincense also works for warts.
Okay.
I would recommend using the frankincense. Oregano is one that's not really recommended for dogs, and it is hot,
Okay.
because if you're just using an oil once in a while on, like Kathy was saying earlier, if you're just, you've got a wound and you're putting some tea tree or a ear infection, you're going to use it once or twice, right? But with a wart, you're going to want to be applying it every day until the wart goes away. And so even though the oregano would probably do it much quicker, they just say to be careful with oregano and dogs. And so I would tend to use frankincense.
Okay.
Because it is so safe with dogs. And you could maybe even use a little bit of tea tree, but the frankincense is tried and true with dogs. So
yeah, and that's what I've used on those lymphomas, like fatty tumors that
Yeah.
Bell had, and they actually went away. I mentioned that to
Oh, that's
Rebecca
awesome.
before
With
we
the
started recording.
tumors it did? That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then she got another one on her foot, and I was religious about applying frankincense and thyme on it because I was worried that maybe it was a cancerous tumor, which in fact it still could be. That could go either way.
Yeah.
But she just had surgery and she had that taken off, and it's just a terrible wound. But CorrectX to the rescue. That's been a great product to put on that wound to heal it up.
And frankincense, Rebecca, frankincense is just like the oil of all oils. When in doubt, use frankincense. And it's antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal, anti-cancerous, anti-tumoral. It's got so many different properties.
Yeah.
It's just endless. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of information here. This is amazing.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Great. I'm glad it's helpful.
Yeah, and I have gone on the vet's website. In fact, Jennifer, the girl that gave me your information, she also recommended Janet's Facebook. So
Good.
tutorial stuff. Yeah.
Good,
Excellent.
good. So Carrie, were you going to share with us your experience with Dr. Rourke's class?
It was very good. I actually, we had horses growing up, but I never used oils on horses and used a minimum our dog for shots. But I like, when I took her course, number one, it was inexpensive. Number two, she was very clear, super simple. She gave a worksheet so you could fill in the blanks, super easy to share with other people. And I did it primarily to share with a lot of women who have horses and who are attempting to use the oils. And I like how you talked about auditioning the oils and seeing if they like it. So her site is just really easy to use. Kimberly recommended it. And so, yeah, it was highly beneficial. And yeah, so I would recommend it. And I do think that you could post a question on there, or even search for something in her Facebook group, like in the group that we have that Kimberly started. And it's nice to hear what other people are using. And I will tell you though, that because of this class, I Googled how to use oils with pets. And there's a lot of weird stuff out there. So I would stick with the sites that use doTERRA oils and with doTERRA proper and with Dr. Rourke, because there's a lot of misinformation and it's based on Walmart oils or maybe another company that I won't mention names. So purity really matters. And I think that's like the foundation of all of this. So
Right.
Really. Mhm.
yeah. And did you want me to talk about the other tool that's an option and share my screen?
Sure. Yeah, I would love that. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and open it up and see if I can do this. I made something, so we'll hopefully you guys can see it. Can you see that?
Yeah, look at
Yes.
that.
You did that?
Beautiful.
I did. My little
Awesome.
doggy. So this is my
Aw.
friend's horse. She has a beautiful horse, and then this came from iTOVi, but it's a little tool. And this tool I had with our dog, our little Sheltie, and this is her in the lower right-hand corner.
Aw,
She
sweetheart.
had kidney disease and we didn't know what was wrong with her. And so we used the oils on her too. But she was such a sweetheart. I could use the iTOVi. You can see it in that left screen. I just literally pulled hair away. And it's just a little tool that you use. I'm going to go to the next screen. That you use in a place. Oh, sorry. They use in a place that that you can attach the two. There's two metal parts, and I'll show you. But why would I even want to use it? The benefits of using it: it's easy to use. It's vet approved. It creates positive responses in your dog because you're testing it out on them, and if they like it. One of the best things that I loved was it deals with the dog's unexpressed emotions. Talk about the dog whisperer. You know, the iTOVi is the dog whisperer. And so it's something that you can, yeah, it's something that you can rent or you can purchase. And I purchased it a few years ago. Sorry. And I'm gonna talk about our next class first, and then I'm going to show you my iTOVi and how I would use it. But is that okay, you guys? Sorry,
Sure,
I'm
yeah.
going backwards.
Sure, that's okay.
So
Yeah.
our next class is spring cleaning made easy, and we have these every 2 weeks, Rebecca. And so hopefully your friend will give you the website, or you can let Wendy know and she can include you in our emails, which
Okay.
would be a better option. And then if we friend you on Facebook, then we can invite you ourselves to our, we have a group called This Stuff Really Works. And if
Okay.
you give Wendy your information before we're done, then we can do that for you and we can include you in
Okay.
our,
That'd be great.
our private group. But it's going to be at 6 p.m. It's every 2 weeks, and you can invite friends. They don't have to be members or wellness advocates. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen so I can show you this. If I can figure out how to do that because of my bar. There we go.
Doing great, Carrie.
Yeah, look at you.
She's turning into an IT gal.
Yeah, look.
Awesome. Great job.
Yeah, I did do my video, but I did that. So I'm working on it.
Great. That's great.
Kathy and I are learning, right, Kathy? We're getting such a.
You're ahead of me. You're in the front row right now.
I don't think so. I think that's
I'm
Canva.
cowering under the desk in the back.
No, don't do that. I liked your sheet. So this is the iTOVi, and you can rent it or you can purchase it. And essentially, you download an app, And I don't like guessing on humans or animals what's wrong with them. So I love to use this. You turn it on, you attach it to your app via Bluetooth, and literally there's 2 metal parts. One is right here, the other one is right there. So what I would do is I would just lay the dog's fur, lay it on the inside of her inner thigh, and kind of close her leg over it. She loved it because I gave her treats. I'd have to make some like Wendy had, and you just rub her and make it like a massage time, not when it's walk time. And then it takes about 2 minutes and it gives you a report. And they say to punch in as a child, like if you look at information on the iTOVi or in the books, treat any animal like a child so that you dilute. But if you're interested in this, I can give you the information for it, but it's just a tool. It's you don't have to use something like this. I like the free first, but over time, it gave me some options for her with some issues that she had, and it seemed to help her when she was alive. So
That's
Do you
great.
remember what it
Nice.
recommended? Do you remember what it recommended for you?
yes, and I'll tell you one of them, shoot, it was one that I had never used, and now I can't think of it actually.
You know
Yeah.
what's so cool about that is, for those of you who've never seen an iTOVi, I never thought about utilizing it for an animal because it's, in my opinion, it was made for people. So if you were interested in having one, you would not only be able to use it on your dog or your cat, but you could use it on yourself and your family, which is even more cool because
Yeah. I have one as well, and I've only used it for humans. I never thought of using it for my animals.
Yeah.
So I love
Yeah.
that you introduced that to us, Carrie.
Right.
Yeah,
And so
thank you.
maybe-
Go ahead.
I was just going to ask, do you, Rebecca, understand what that tool does?
No, I mean,
Right,
this
so
is the first I've heard of it. So it's
Yeah, it's
interesting.
really cool. So
Yeah.
what it does is it reads your biochemistry and it intersects with the doTERRA product line. And so it makes recommendations based on what it reads from your body. And it
Wow.
recommends products that will support you in areas of wellness that come
Very
up as
cool.
needing
Yeah.
a little
Thank you.
TLC. Yeah, it's a great little
That's
tool.
neat.
Yeah.
It's like a Fitbit. It's
Yeah, I
like
was
a
just gonna say,
Fitbit.
Yeah.
the Apple Watch that measures your energy and everything
Right.
that's going. So that's what it does. It sends electrical impulses, and then whatever comes back to it, it reads that, and then it tells you that these are the oils that would be,
Right.
wonderful
That's
for you
awesome.
at this moment, you or your dog or whoever.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
And
Right.
it deals with both your physical wellness and your emotional wellness,
yes,
which
Oh,
is
That's beautiful.
so wonderful. So dogs can't talk to us about what's hurting, but they
That's
also
yeah.
can't talk to us about how they're feeling.
yeah,
So to be able to, I mean, this is just blown out my mind right now tonight, because to be able to do the iTOVi on the dog, it's almost like you're giving your pet a voice.
Yeah.
And they can actually, you can
I
find
like
out
that.
what they need emotionally, because I don't really ever think about the emotional needs of my dog as much as I probably should. But to think that I can benefit him with something like that is kind of cool. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I bought it, I rented it, I should say, for 2 years, and I did just use it on my family because I like diagnostic things. I'm a dental hygienist by day, and so my brain thinks that way, and I was tired of asking people how they felt in a group setting. And so this is something you know your dog, but do we really know our dog? My dog was
Right.
very sick and I didn't really know it. She had stones and had a myriad of health issues. And so it helped her while she was with us. And so I feel like it does give your dog a voice. I love the give your dog a voice, but it also gives you several oils that you can dilute and put into a roller bottle. So I didn't have to guess. And what I do know with humans and animals is that you have to be consistent. So for all my health issues that I've used the oils for, if you do it twice a day for a consistent period of time, I'd say for a month to 3 months, then you really start to notice a difference. And because of, thank you for explaining that, Wendy, I got on a website with a vet, and it was Dr. Rourke and another vet's office. And one of the things that they showed was it's super, super easy to use these. And they said, don't believe what you read on the internet. And a lot of the oils that they say are bad, you have to find out where they came from. But with doTERRA's oils, there are many oils that you have to dilute, but they are safe because every batch is tested, every bottle is tested. And so you could rest assured that it will not harm your dog if you use them properly and you dilute. So,
Okay.
Well,
yeah.
thank you. Thank you for that. Any
You're welcome.
questions? Is there anything you'd like to dive into? A particular remedy you're interested in, Rebecca?
No, I think I'm just like overwhelmed. How
Well,
exciting.
good. Well, we're here to help. So if
Oh,
something comes up, just let us know,
okay,
okay?
well, yes,
And
that's great.
I'm going to go ahead and turn off the recording, but stay right here, Rebecca, and I'll get
Okay.
your email address and add you to our list.
Perfect.
Hang on one sec. Thanks everybody for joining us.